And then I took an arrow to the knee. Hi, I'm Kroglander, and today I'm starting Die Hard Vendetta, a sort of first-person shooter for the PS2, although it is available on the Xbox and GameCube as well. And I think I'll try normal difficulty. I was thinking of doing it on easy, just to make it easier myself when recording this footage, but I thought I don't want to be too cheap. But anyway, you select the difficulty and you get a few options here. Mostly peripheral, like you can change whether he's left-handed or right-handed, the crosshair, and you do have these options as well, auto-jumping and auto-reloading. But we'll learn about that as we get on with the LP. So, needless to say, it is based off the Die Hard films, in a sense, but it's actually a new story. It just takes the characters and tells a new story from the scenario and setup. And of course, I don't think it's canon. Probably just because the events here directly contradict the events of Die Hard 4. And we won't actually be starting the actual LP today. We'll be doing the tutorial level, just because I wanted to show it off. I don't worry about these loading screens. I edit them out, or edit them a bit shorter.
The instructor is waiting for you.
Now, unfortunately, this is a commentary, so I will be talking over the game,
Is over there, under the
but I won't be talking over cutscenes. And if someone has something important or funny to say, I won't talk over that.
You can open a door by standing in front of it and pressing the action button.
Look at the door.
She's just explaining how to open doors.
There you go, John.
The action button. So, like I said, if it's important, I'll keep my mouth shut.
Let's start with some target practice. Join me on the other side of that door.
Kind of makes this LP a bit tricky, because I don't know when to talk and when not to, but, well, I'll muddle my way through it.
Okay, first you'll need a gun. I placed a 9mm pistol in the bin. You can open the bin by actioning it. Pick up the gun inside by moving near it. Try it now. Make sure you look at the object you're trying to open. Look down at the drawer and then press the action button.
Yeah, I'm doing it, mate. So the 9mm.
The more accurate you're shooting, the higher your
almost nearly your standard weapon. You start almost every level with this. And it's your basic handgun. And no surprises here, you just aim and you shoot. You walk with the left analog stick and you turn around and look at things with the right analog stick. And fire with the R1 button. So, pretty standard stuff.
Almost perfect. Okay, let's move on.
I'm a bit out of practice, I won't lie to you.
Let's try out the submachine gun. Same rules apply. The gun is in the bin. Take it now.
Oh yeah, and this is the submachine gun. It's kind of less precise, and it really goes through bullets. But it's effective nonetheless. And for someone like me, I'll admit this, I'm okay at shooting games. I'm not great. So a gun like this is actually pretty good. I can just take out enemies sort of, well, not randomly, but without aiming precisely. And you can see that you can change the turn speed and the sensitivity, which is a nice touch. And I actually turn the facing, because I had it inverted. When it's inverted, you point down, he looks up, kind of like flying an airplane. And for some reason, I thought that would be more useful to me, but it just fucked me up a bit. It's kind of weird, because when I do play like airplane games, I'm used to that being inverted. This is kind of a cool weapon, and this guy, you see sort of a scope here, where you can zoom a little into, but it's kind of jittery, as you just saw. But nevertheless, it kind of works like the submachine gun, except it's even more deadlier. And it's actually quite a cool weapon to have.
In this bin we have a sniper rifle. This will allow you to zoom extremely close to your target, so I'll be expecting a perfect score.
The sniper. See, the weapons in this game, it's sort of based in reality, of course, so you get pretty much your standards, your shotguns, your rifles, your handguns, your snipers, maybe a rocket launcher near the end. Well, spoilers, but you do get a flamethrower near the end, which is really fun to use, but we'll get to that when we get to it. So nothing too surprising, but like I said, it's based on reality,
Okay,
so
John, you can use that
you get
weapon
what
in
you
this range.
expect.
Any shots from that weapon will be removed from your score.
And you can see there I kind of used the wrong weapon. But I haven't played this game in years,
That's not up to your usual standards.
and at least doing this
let's
tutorial
move.
level, it puts me back in practice. Gets me used to the game again. And I think this is actually the last shooter I've played.
You are now carrying all 4 weapons in your inventory. You can change weapons by using the directional button. Pressing up and down on the directional button will quickly cycle through the
The
weapons.
sniper is fun to use, like, you just zoom in and pick people off. I'll get some decent use out of that
See what items you are carrying.
later on in
From
the
here, you
LP.
can select what you want by scrolling up and down and then pressing action. Notice you have 2 inventory screens. One for
And
weapons
like in regular
and one
shooting
for other
games, the
items.
D-pad is
The
your
directional button will toggle
inventory
between the
slash
2.
weapons.
Try this now. Good. In the next room we have a shooting gallery. Boards will pop up with
Again,
either
this isn't
criminals
this
or
isn't the most
civilians on them.
interesting
You will
part,
score 1
so
point for every bad guy
in
you
fact
shoot.
I'm
You
going to
will
label
lose
this
1
part
point for every
0,
civilian you hit.
because the game
test
actually
is over
starts
when
in the
you
next
reach a score
level.
of 10.
And if you want to skip to that, I don't blame you. And honestly, that one starts off with a proper cutscene, so you might as well.
Okay, let's move on. Okay, the test will begin when you step into the green area marked on the floor.
Well, I feel just talked over his explanation, but essentially, you can see what's going on. You shoot the red guys, you don't shoot the green guys. You know, it's a good job in real life. Good people and bad people are colour coded by red and green, because otherwise that'll be really ambiguous. Ugh, you can see it. I do okay. As the game gets on, I do get better at the shooting. But yeah, at least I'm not using auto aim. Well, I think I'll do in this level, but then I turn it off. So at least for the proper game, I'm not using auto aim. So that's
a respectable
at least I'm not being
score.
completely
Okay,
cheap,
let's
I
move
guess.
in your own time, John.
Yeah, I'm coming. Doop-de-doop-de-doo.
Okay, John. If you could put all your weapons into this bin by pressing action on it. Thanks. Okay. Next up to the obstacle course. Let's see how agile you are.
And of course,
Climb this
platforming.
ladder by walking onto it. At the top, you want to make your way across this beam. Some people find it easier by crawling on their belly. Go prone. Double tap on the crouch button.
Yes, and of course, now we get introduced to the controls of the game by doing some first-person platforming of sorts. So you can duck and crawl in this game, which is useful. Usually in shooting, you'll see me later on sort of ducking and diving behind scenery for
Well
cover.
done. Okay, there's a crash mat down there. If you run off the edge of the platform, you will automatically jump. This will help you reach the mat, which will cushion your fall.
And of course, this has a Zelda-like auto jump. You just run off an edge and it jumps for you.
You can jump
Kinda
whenever you
useful.
want by pressing the jump button. Climb these steps by walking into them and jumping.
Ugh, God. I don't like the vertical jumping, because it's not like you press jump and you don't have air control.
Well done.
You press forward and
It's
jump and you
sometimes
jump a
easier to use the
certain
auto jump.
a
If you
certain
run
sort
off
of
the edge the
arc way or
platform, you will
certain
automatically
distance
jump.
and height.
Try this now.
You can't really change it.
Good. And again.
Essentially, you have no air
Okay.
control,
Get across this gap by using the
which I
movement
can't really
button.
like because it's based in reality. But it does make jumping vertically up things kind of tricky.
Good.
But
Now
it's
run
not
down
really
these
a
steps.
platformer anyway, so it's not really a huge issue.
You'll have to crouch to get under this barrier. To crouch. Okay. Now jump over this block.
I remember when I first had this game, I went straight to the first level. I didn't even bother with the
To go
tutorial.
prone, double tap on the crouch button.
I just wanted to get into the story really, and well, I wanted to see, just wanted to actually play
Okay,
the
John,
game.
you beat the obstacle course.
And you'll see later, the story
John,
is
let's
good.
try you out on some
well,
human opposition.
it's good
In the
for
next
an
room, there are
action
5
movie.
instructors who have taken
I guess
cover.
if
In
it
this
was
training
realistic,
section,
you
you're
wouldn't
gonna
really
have to
believe
make
it,
the
but
exit without getting
it
shot.
is a
If
really
you get
cool
shot, return back
story
to
for like
the
a bad
beginning,
action
and we'll
movie. And I
reset
say
the
bad
course.
in like
However,
one
if
of
you
those
shoot
bad
any of the
movies you can
instructors, they
enjoy.
will be eliminated from the course. Because we're dealing with real people here, John, we'll be using paintballs. You'll find a gun and some ammo in this bin. The course begins once you walk through these doors.
Ah, the paintball. Kind of fun to use. And I'll be honest here, I edited a failed attempt See if you can notice it. But yeah, we go with this little training course where we shoot instructors with a paintball gun. And something which I'll show off later, well, after I've done everything else, is the fact that you can use the paintball in multiplayer, and it does do damage in multiplayer. Kind of nice. Well, we should show different colours rather than just fuchsia. And I think you can see at this point I do have the auto aim turned on. I do turn that off for the main game, but you can see how it works. And the reason I turn it off is because it just aims for their chest, really, rather than getting headshots. And just, in fact, it might even stop you from getting a headshot by aiming onto the chest. Then it's okay if you're not good at shooters, or if you want to learn the game first, but I actually think it's kind of unnatural.
John. You got all of them.
Where it's sort of taking over you. Well, also someone will have to correct me on this, but I think all shooters have a degree of auto-aim anyway. Because they don't expect you to be pixel perfect. Like if you shoot someone's head and you're a couple of pixels left, right or above, it's sort of, the bullet calculates that hitting the head. I think that's the way it works in most shooting games. Someone will have to correct me. This is really my experience. This and GoldenEye and another game called Fur Fighters, which I'm not sure you even know about, but yeah, I'm not a bit huge shooter fan. Not that I hate them, it's like, oh, they're all great. No, it's just, I guess I don't buy that many games for financial reasons, and if I do, I'll buy platformer.
You can get some more paintballs from the bin. When you're ready, John, just step through this door.
Okay, and now we're on a sort of... Oh, this is where we get to see hero time.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Now, hero time is you activate it, and essentially everything goes in slow motion, except you move at the same time. And you can see like the orange bar next to my life in the top corner. That sort of goes down, and when that's over, hero time is over. And this is directly from one of the movies. A mod where John McClane is just shooting bitches up, and it's playing this music, which is, of course, Beethoven's Ode to Joy.
Let's try the next test.
And it's something I'll use strategically in the game. Like, I'll save up hero time, and then use it whenever I'm going to face a large amount of enemies.
Let's test your throwing arm. This bin you'll find.
Oh, and just in case you didn't hear it, because of me talking over it, you get hero time by saving civilians.
Into each of those bins. When throwing the grenade, pressing the fire button will pull the pin out of the grenade. Release the fire button will throw the grenade. The longer you leave it between pulling out the pin and releasing the grenade, the further you will throw it. Okay, let's try it.
Okay, smoke grenades. And edit out failed attempt. Yeah, something I didn't realise is you hold in the button then release it, but I'm not sure when this sort of release started. You know, did it start the moment you hit the fire button or the moment the pin was taken out? And in case you're wondering, it is the moment you hit the fire button. But once I got that sorted out, this didn't really give me too much trouble. Just calculating fire them into the holes. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Grenades, they don't really come up with too much in the story, really. Just 1 or 2 times. In fact, I remember specifically collecting grenades later on while recording this, and not using them, just because I had guns and it would have been easy just to shoot people. But then again, we'll see. We'll see if they do come in useful. There's also spoilers. There's also like motion sensing grenades, C4 or whatever. And I first didn't think they were useful, but I actually did find something quite clever, a clever way of using them. But we'll get to that when we get to that. And I started to fool around.
Okay, John. If you could
just
put all your
small
weapons into
place
this
with
bin
gas
by
for
pressing
funsies.
action on it. Okay, John. Running in guns blazing isn't always the best way.
Yeah. See, this level's
Sometimes
useful,
more
but
subtle
it's
approach
not
works
too
better.
interesting.
The next exercise is to see how quiet you can be. There are 2 ways for you to move: action or stealthy. Pressing your stealth button will toggle between the 2 modes. Try this now. Good. And again? Good. Now when you're in stealth mode, you make less noise and you're less likely to be seen. Unfortunately, Unfortunately, you'll have to move slower to be quiet. If you punch or shoot in stealth mode, you will automatically change to action mode, and your cover will be blown. In the next room, there are various instructors and cameras patrolling and keeping watch. You must get from here to the exit door without being spotted. If you're spotted, return to the start and we'll try it again. Enter the room when you're ready.
Okay, I was just letting him explain stealth mode. And pretty much, yeah. You go into stealth mode, you move slower, but you're less likely to be seen. And it's often the best way of moving around. And in fact, if you prefer to shoot people than sneak up on them, moving around in stealth mode is still a good approach. Because you're in stealth mode, they won't see you, and they can just at least take one of them out, take them by surprise. Again, I'm not really a fan of stealth games, but I like the stealth in this game, and arguably it is watered down, or it's streamlined, if you will. Because the enemy AI is sort of terrible. Well, I say terrible, this could have been intentional. But what I mean is you could be like right behind someone and they won't see you. Or just to the side and they won't see you, which is very kind of jarring. Because you would think, come on, they would see you. But nevertheless, it's pretty fun. And I'm thinking of stealth games. Another one I have played is Hitman 2. And I find that sort of infuriating. In that game you sort of sneak around very slowly, very quietly, and then you turn around the corner as someone sees you. You got to do the level all over again, and I find that frustrating, if I'm honest. I'm not really a fan of stealth at all, but in the context of this game it was done quite well. And really, it's not really mandatory, but something you can do optional. There are moments when you have to do it to move the story along, but don't worry, it's not going to get all Metal Gear Solid on your ass. And it's the developers, when they talk about this game, they said they watched the Die Hard movies and they realised that John McClane doesn't actually go in shooting, which he doesn't. He actually sneaks around. He crawls around in air vents and takes bad guys out one at a time. Ah, lasers, a trope of the action genre. Get your Mission Impossible out of my Die Hard. But like I said, when I say the developers talk about this game, there is actually a making of video that comes with the game, and I intend to show that off as well in a separate part. I'm planning to do like a part of extras about the game and show off other aspects. Okay, next section.
Being a police officer, John, if the opportunity arises, it's always better to capture someone alive. In the next room, we've set up a hostage scenario. There are a number of instructors in the next room guarding a couple of hostages. If any of the instructors spot you, they will shoot the hostages and you will fail the test. However, if you are stealthy, it's possible to approach the instructors without being spotted. Then, if they're not aware of you, and you're close enough, it's possible to grab one of the instructors by pressing your grab button. This puts you in a good bargaining position to ensure the safe release of the hostages. Here's a useful tip. Not all members of the gang carry the same importance. Always try to grab the leader. His men will look to him for guidance.
Okay, so essentially you grab the leader, you can take him hostage by sneaking up behind him and grabbing him. Well, he's just explained it and I'm just about to show you how it's done. Oh yes. Again, this goes into more like the police tactical games. I guess you could compare it to like SWAT, except that, again, like the stealth, this is a much more slimmed down or watered down version, if you will. Again, I wouldn't say watered down. I think it's done deliberately simple.
Don't let go of the leader until you've secured the
Yeah, see, if this was SWAT, you could call in other members to arrest the other guys, but you do it yourself. Which is kind of odd, because you walk up to them holding the other guy and they sort of handcuff themselves, maybe?
We're not going to let you do that. To cuff and grab a person, press your action button. Excellent. You've secured the release of the hostages without any casualty or putting yourself in danger. Let's move on.
I do love that tactic.
In your own time, John.
And there are certain occasions where you have to use that to complete the level. But what's a nice feature is you can take people hostage who aren't supposed to be. What I mean is you can do it optional, if you will.
Remember, this isn't a weapon, so
and I love that option they give you. Oh, anyway, he's explaining how to defuse bombs here, and I'm kind of talking over it.
Enter this code into your circuit breaker by pressing the
Oh,
button.
look at that
One
iPod.
final thing.
Terrible, isn't it?
Once you've entered the
It's
first code, you will
so
trigger the
5 years
timer.
ago.
You must enter the entire sequence before the timer reaches 0, otherwise, boom.
I know this sequence, it's essentially a quick time event to defuse bombs. I do like this, although it doesn't come up until very late in the game actually. But at least they tell you how in here. And I use my out-of-date iPod to cancel these.
The other door will take you back to
Yeah,
reception.
simple. Okay, we've done training, and I'm going to end this part here. So, thank you for watching. Tune in for part 1, the proper part, and hopefully that'll be a bit more interesting. I'm Kroglander, thanks for watching, and if you like it, subscribe.